the Centurion model for Meccariello. I kind of combined that with the fact that I was a huge fan of shell Cordovan. Those two didn't really mesh, but in my mind they did, and it just didn't work out with them. Hey, what's up guys? Really excited to do this video. It's one I actually didn't realize that I hadn't done yet. So this is a combination where I'm going to talk about this pair of shoes, which is a pair that I have been after for a number of years, and now I've had it for, I guess, almost a year. This is from Antonio Meccariello's Aurum range, and this is a fully handmade centurion on the Aurum round chisel last in Horween natural unglazed shell Cordovan. This pair has a custom patina on it, and this is pretty special. It's a pattern that you don't see often, which is the pie crust split toe derby in Horween shell Cordovan. But basically, this color that's on here has been hand painted by Antonio, and I assume that many folks would have questions about that, just like I did when I first got this shoe. What I'll do, I'm going to break down kind of the details of this shoe. Going to do a very gentle cleaning on them, condition them, and I'll talk about the shoe, kind of the journey that it took for me to get this shoe. Over the next video or 2 videos on this, I'll kind of break down some of the additional details, the nuances, the things that I like, some things that could be improved, kind of cover like the basic review details such as like the fit, the finishing, the break-in, all that kind of stuff. And that's really just because there's a lot of information both on the care side as well as the review side. So instead of trying to jam that all into one video and missing some of it, I'm going to break it up. These are the same brushes you'll always see me using. This is from Joe Works, and this is just a dark horsehair and a natural horsehair. Also, we've got a jar of water. I have gotten a lot of questions about this. Just knock this out right away. This is from Mason & Smith, as are the brushes. The last item here, 2 more items, sorry. So we've got the Brift H ebony stick. I've done a number of videos about using an ebony stick or a sleeking bone like this. I'll link those above here. The conditioner that we're going to be using is, of course, from Pure Polish Products, and this is just their cleaner conditioner. So let's go ahead and brush these off. I'm going to use the one cloth and a little bit of water just to kind of clean off the surface dirt. That's after I brush them, and then we'll get into the conditioning. I want to go through and kind of give it a proper cleaning as well as a full conditioning. Now I am fine with using this cleaning method on these at this point. I wasn't doing much cleaning on these at first because I didn't want to, again, kind of pull off any of the patina that Antonio had applied by hand. So I just figured, like, why risk it at all? But now whatever color is on here, like, I'm pretty confident it's stuck on here. So I'm not really worried about kind of giving it a gentle cleaning. I'll share a little bit of the background. So when I first started looking into shoes of this caliber and really started to appreciate the pie crust split toe derby, the Centurion model for Meccariello, I kind of combined that with the fact that I was a huge fan of shell Cordovan. Those two didn't really mesh, but in my mind they did. At the time, there was only like 1 or 2 makers that really offered that, and it just didn't work out with them. That took about a year and a half to realize that it wasn't going to work out with them. That's when I started talking with Antonio about this model. The Centurion is really like the pie crust split toe derby that first like really made that a favorite of mine. And having it done by him in shell Cordovan was kind of like the grail shoe for me. I just never really thought it was attainable. That's why I didn't really approach him until after that first 2 or 3 makers didn't work out. Long story short, basically what it is that this is a model that I really wanted. It took 2 years just to start talking to Antonio about it because I was already working with another brand that wasn't able to deliver it after that time. And then it took about a year and a half for Antonio to have it work through his pipeline of made-to-measure aurum shoes, 3.5 year process. So that's what really has made this kind of that grail shoe for me. It's just a combination of my favorite leather as well as my favorite pattern from my favorite maker. All right, now I'm going to brush these off again just to buff off anything that may be still kind of evaporated, or just to kind of heat up the shell, heat up the surface, so that when I apply the conditioner, it really kind of soaks in. This is the cleaner conditioner from Pure Polish Products. Now, you do not want to use a lot of this, especially on shell at any given time, so I'm going to be kind of overly cautious about how much I get on my finger at a time, but we're going to start at the back and then go around. There are a few things about Antonio's Centurion model, his pie crust split toe derby model, that really caught my eye and really is what kind of set me off on that path. Those details really are the amount of texture that he's able to create in that apron, especially in shell cordovan. Like, that's exactly what I was going to him for, so I'm really happy that that's how these turned out. The other is just the kind of consistency and depth that he's able to create in that toe as well. Like, he has a very strong signature for this pie crust apron as well as the split toe. That's what I was going to him for. The fact that he was able to execute it this well on top of the patina, or it's actually under the patina, but you get what I mean. I'm going to go over to the left shoe here as we continue to kind of chat through the life cycle of this shoe. All right, now it's time to apply the patina. I'm not applying any patina. I'm going to apply conditioner to the shell that has the patina on it. Start on the heel again. As I'm wrapping up the kind of the scope of what I was planning to chat through in this first video, as well as the amount of the care routine that I was planning on getting done in this first video, I want to kind of put a button on a few things. The overall review or outcome of this shoe is, I really couldn't be more pleased with it, or I couldn't have asked for anything different. Execution of the actual pattern on this last, which is the first time I've had a shoe on the aurum round chisel, the three-piece tree, the patina, everything came out exactly the way that we had talked about and the exact way that I had described it to him. So really couldn't be happier with it. There are a few nuances just with the three-piece trees, with the care of the patina, and the unglazed shell cordovan that I'll get into over the next couple of videos. I think those are topics that you need a little more time to cover completely and address any of the potential questions that may exist around those. The next steps will be to buff that off, use the ebony stick to just kind of like work in and kind of raise the luster on this a little bit. And I'll talk about that more when we get into the topic of the unglazed natural shell cordovan, because it's unglazed, so the luster is going to be a bit less than what you're used to in shell cordovan. There are a little intricacies with the three-piece trees that you may not be expecting or aware of if you haven't had them before, so I definitely want to cover that as well. If you want to see more or are curious about some of my other care routines for shell cordovan, check out these two videos that I'm going to share now. Thanks. See you soon.